So it got me thinking, are we just bad at making friends now? Has society changed so much that we just don't make friends the way we used to? And are we bad at it?
Welcome to the Bent Christian Podcast.
Hey guys, welcome to the Bent Christian Podcast, where we are a community of believers, imperfect believers on a mission to share the messages of faith, hope, and love with everyone, everywhere, every day. We believe in the power of prayer and providing helpful resources to each other and sharing inspiring testimonies of how God is working in our lives and the lives of those around us. Each episode, we will dive into these topics as we seek to encourage one another and spur each other on towards love and good deeds. So whether you're a seasoned believer, just starting to explore faith, or just still trying to figure it all out, you are welcome here, because we sure don't have it all figured out. But what we do know is no one is perfect, but we serve a God of grace who is patient, loving, and able to redeem our brokenness. So if we're not perfect, and we don't have to be broken, maybe we're all just bent. So let's be bent together. Let's get rid of labels, prejudices, and discrimination, and let's take this journey as one, with the same love that we are given and called to give. Join us as we pursue authentic community and find hope in hardship and experience the transformative love of Christ. You don't want to miss these life-changing stories and insights coming your way. So let's get started, and welcome to Bent Christian. So guys, today I want us to think about a very simple question. Are we bad at making friends now? This all started because recently I had a chance to spend some time with some old friends. I'm talking about the good old friends with all the stories and the belly laughs, but some of them I actually haven't seen in years. And I noticed once again, we all said the same thing, like, wow, it's been too long, or sure miss seeing you all, and we should get together soon, blah, blah, blah. We say that all the time, and then we gather for something that's like a wedding or a funeral, and that's what brings us together. And it really got me thinking. It got me thinking about a lot of things, but first, why don't we see each other like we used to? I know everyone's busy. The world is busy. But we always seem to make time for other important things in our lives. So are our friends no longer important? We'll get to more on that later. And then I was thinking, what do friendships look like now? You see, I can tell you my relationships with all these old friends that we had. It looks drastically different. It has changed over the years for a variety of reasons. But I still feel closer with some of those friends from 20 plus years ago than I am with people that I meet today. I mean, even if I don't see them very often, is it just the history or the nostalgia or the old shared experiences that we always seem to bring up? Or am I just bad at making friends now? So I guess we should start with a definition of a friend. So according to ChatGPT, a friend is someone you know well and like, and who likes you back. Friends spend time together, support each other, and share both good and bad times. Fine. I like people, and they seem to like me. So is everyone my friend? So in my research for this podcast, I was finding different articles, definitions. I found an article where Aristotle had identified 3 different types of friendships. And for those that might not know him, Aristotle was this ancient Greek philosopher, a student of Plato, and a teacher of Alexander the Great. So he surely has some good answers. Anyway, he said there are 3 types of friends. Friendships of utility. So these are based on like a mutual benefit. They're more fleeting, or they fade when the benefit diminishes. Friendships of pleasure. They're based on shared interests, activities, or enjoyment. They're common among young people, but they may not have any deeper connections. And then there's friendships of the good. These are the deepest and rarest form of friendship based on mutual admiration of each other's virtues and character. They involve both utility and pleasure, but go way beyond a level that's profound with understanding and appreciation. Okay, what does that mean? I actually believe there are some easier definitions of friendships. And maybe the definition of friendship itself has evolved over time. I mean, especially with like social networking. I personally have thousands of friends and followers and connections. However, some of them I have never met in person. So my definition of friends have absolutely changed. I think you have your lifers, your friends. Those are the ones that I was with recently. Those are the old childhood or lifelong friends who have been present through various stages of life and experiences. There's a powerful bond that's formed through that shared history. And then, of course, your best friend, your BFF. Those are those close and trusted friendships from whom you can be completely open and vulnerable. And I believe there can be multiple best friends. You have your casual friends. Those are good friends. They enjoy being around each other, but maybe not see each other regularly or share deep connections with, or maybe not deep connections with anymore. I definitely believe there are secondhand friends. These are friends of friends. They're part of a larger social circle. Not very close connections. Sometimes it can be friends of your spouse or partner or significant other. Kind of getting in those acquaintance areas to me, but we'll call them secondhand friends for this. And then there's the ones that I really believe that primarily exist with social media and social presence. Your shared interest friends, friendships formed around a common hobby, activity, or interest, but it may not extend beyond that. Excuse me. We can have those in person. Book clubs or car clubs or things like that. But often we're part of larger friend groups on social media. And sometimes we have those friends, again, that we've never even met in person. Long distance friends. These were friends, close friends that lived far away, but stay connected through technology, through social media. I know I have some very near and dear friends of mine that I've been friends for years and years, and the only time we talk now is primarily on social media posts, commenting back and forth. It's good. It's good. So there are definite benefits to keeping in contact with those long distance friends. The acquisitive friendships, continuously making new friends while maintaining old friendships throughout life's transformations, finding ways to increase your amount of friends for a variety of reasons. This is literally how influencers survive. Adding the friends or subscribers or contacts or followers. There's a purpose for it. And that goes back to Aristotle's view of friendship as a utility. Although the types of friendships we have might have changed and the definitions of friendships have absolutely changed, the importance of having true friendships have not. Simon Sinek, and I just follow him. I just love this guy. I'll put a link to him or this interview that I'm going to talk about in the description. But he stated in an interview that one of the most powerful weapons against depression, anxiety, addiction, etc. is having true friendships. This is a powerful interview discussing the importance of friends and how it's changed over the years. In the same interview, he referenced the rat park experiment from the 70s, and that was actually a follow-up to a drug experiment in the 1960s. I'm going to give you I can't say Cliff Notes version because that's trademarked, but I'll give you the abbreviated version. Essentially, in the 1960s, single rats were put in cages, and they had the option of two waters. One was laced with a drug, and the other was not. And repeatedly, the lonely rat drank the laced water. So it was proving that loneliness can cause or promote the idea of being altered in some way, shape, or form. But the rat park experiment that was revised in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s, they actually used a group of rats. and there was these little activities that the rats could do, and but instead of an isolated single rat, and they gave the same options, a laced or not laced water. And what they found was ultimately the rats chose the water that was not laced. Well, why? Well, because like people, rats are social, and they didn't need or continuously go back to the drugged water when they weren't lonely. So, I mean, I know it's an experiment with rats, but I mean, to me, that says a lot. That's a pretty powerful thought about how we are a society full of addictions now. How much of that is just because we're lonely? Or, I don't know, maybe because we just don't have the friendships like we used to. So is it that we are just bad at making friends today? Johann Hari did a TED Talk, and in this talk, he referenced the need for healthy physical relationships was the primary underlying cause of addiction. Now, it wasn't some the way we're wired or some ultimate programming inside us. It was really that we were lacking in these long-term healthy relationships. And I'll put a link to that TED Talk in there. It's a great talk. But it just keeps reiterating the fact that we need these healthy relationships. We need these friendships that we used to have that we just don't have today. So since Being Christian is a spiritual podcast, does the Bible talk about friendship? And actually it does. The Bible places great importance on friendship and actually provides guidance on cultivating healthy and godly friendships. The Bible portrays friendships as a blessing from God that enriches our lives. Proverbs 18:24 states, "One who has unreliable friend soon comes to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother." True friends provide companionship, support, and encouragement, enriching our journey through life. Jesus exemplified the ultimate friendship by sacrificing himself for others. He said, "Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for our friends." John 15:13. True friendship consists of unconditional love and forgiveness, and we are called to love one another as Christ loved us. The Bible encourages us to surround ourselves with wise and godly friends who can spur us on towards love and towards good deeds. It discusses that in Hebrews 10:24 and 25. But I love Proverbs 27:17. It states, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another." Guys, good friends can challenge us to grow in our faith, in anything, in our lives, in our careers, and help hold us accountable. The Bible actually also warns us against associating with those that can lead us astray or corrupt in our characters, as stated in Proverbs and 1 Corinthians. We are advised to choose friendship and wisely, seeking those who are faithful, trustworthy, and share the same values. True friendship involves sticking by one another through the good and the bad times. The Bible commends loyalty, faithfulness, and a willingness to forgive and even overlook offenses. So if we agree that we all like having friends, and we've kind of proven by science that friendships are imperative, the Bible states in numerous places the importance of genuine friendships. The question remains, are we bad at making or keeping real friendships today? So let's look at some insights about forming new, genuine friendships. And guys, they can be challenging in today's society. Social media allows us to maintain existing friendships more easily, but it may hinder the formation of new or deep connections. We can spend so much time in these virtual worlds or on social and responding to all the happy birthday posts or happy anniversary or, man, your steak dinner last night looked great. We're not taking time for those genuine, intentional, face-to-face interactions. Social media interactions tend to be more superficial. They lack the depth of those face-to-face interactions that we have to have in order to build those genuine bonds. The constant sharing and comparison on social media can breed feelings of loneliness, or envy, and actual disconnection rather than any real connection. There's a tendency to try to accumulate more friends online than one can meaningfully connect with. I know for a fact we all get these friend connections or requests or comments, and some of them are scams, some of them not, but they're just people that are seeking out because you knew someone else, and they're trying to make these connections. But again, they're not intentional. They're not deep. They're not impactful. They're just accumulating connections, accumulating acquaintances. People are naturally drawn to form friendships with those that are similar to themselves in terms of interest or values or demographics even. In today's fragmented society with less communal living, it may be harder to encounter and connect with compatible individuals. Then there's the maintenance phase of friendships. They require regular quality interactions. Our modern lifestyles often prioritize convenience over investing time to nurture and develop or create new or deeper bonds. We're all guilty of this. Again, thinking about how much time we spend, it's literally hours every day on our phones, and a good percentage of that is on social media, where we used to do that intentionally in person, face to face. So while online communities allow people with niche interests to connect, the anonymity makes it harder to transition online connections to genuine offline friendships, but on deeper self-disclosure and vulnerability. Major life events like changing jobs or moving cities, that can all disrupt your social circles, and it makes it harder to maintain old friendships. But it also makes you put effort to forge new ones. So if we move and we've left our old friends behind and we're spending our time connecting on social devices or just trying to stay long distance connected through technology with our old family or friends, that's taking away the time that we have to put towards developing new relationships. So in essence, while technology has enhanced our ability to loosely connect, the lack of shared real-life context creates a shallowness. The digital interactions, they hinder the formation of the new meaningful friendships. Those take time. They take time to create. They take time to develop. So based on some search results, I was trying to figure out, how can we improve our ability to make these new friendships? What can we do different? We can identify problems out all day long, but how can we be part of the solution? So here are some thoughts, and I don't know how many of these may work, but it's worth trying something. What if we limit our social media usage? What if we take a percentage, and you can check it on any phone, Android, iPhone, you can look at your screen time and you can actually see what you're spending your screen time on. And that would include all the social outlets. To me, that will include LinkedIn. That will also include Twitter. A lot of people talk about Facebook or Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, and now even the social interaction has increased on YouTube with shorts and comments going back and forth. But if we limit the social media usage and start prioritizing some in-person interactions, social media can help maintain those existing connections. But it provides a superficial sense of connection. And we really need to prioritize those face-to-face interactions and build real intimacy and trust through quality time together. Let's be intentional about limiting social media use and cutting through the online noise so we can just focus on a few meaningful connections and not just seeing how many superficial surface level connections we can come up with. Embrace vulnerability and self-disclosure. Forming genuine friendships requires vulnerability and openness by sharing personal details. I think that's another reason why it's so easy to default to the social media. We only share what we want. We only share the pretty pictures. We only share the good meals. We only share the fun vacation destinations. But that's really not life. That's life glamorized or photoshopped. We got to get beyond those surface level interactions. Let's get comfortable with self-disclosure. Let's have honest, transparent conversations. Often when we're sad or depressed or anxious, one of the things that we want is confirmation or validation of our feelings. We can get that with social, the likes or the unhappy faces or emojis and all that. But man, being intentional with your time with someone that's going through something, that's where the bonds really form. We should make an effort. We should be patient to go deeper and move from those online conversations and connections to deeper offline interactions. We need to seek out opportunities for shared experiences. Bonding occurs through shared experiences and activities. Memories are going through life's transitions together. I have so many memories with my old friends because we did life together. We didn't just tell each other what we're doing independently. We made memories together. So join clubs, do organizations or communities centered around common interests. Church is a great place to discover people with like minds or equally yoked, or life groups and interest groups and small groups. Again, it's about being intentional and making the effort to get out there. There are so many opportunities. You can find a common interest groups all over social media. So use it for that to find ways to engage in person. Make time for activities like meeting up. Make time to call friends or write letters to nurture those existing friendships. My wife has a family member that every year we get a written letter of what her family has been up to all year. Now, there are some years we don't see them at all. We do interact on social, but there's something special about that letter. Something special about them taking the time, not just a post, not just something for the world to see, just the intentionality of saying, hey, I'm thinking about you and I want you to hear about me and my family and update you. And I tell you, it means a lot. As we have to embrace diversity and different types of friendships, we are getting worse and worse in this isolated world where we have these labels and divisions and prejudices and cancel culture and the list goes on and on. While the similarity attraction effect draws us to those with the shared traits, diversity also enriches our social circles. We don't even give things a chance anymore because we get down these rabbit hole algorithms of this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, and we go deeper and deeper. So we're actually getting even more closed-minded. It's one of the issues with religion today. There are so many labels and denominations with religion as a label itself when we talk about religion and not a relationship. So people are either I'm religious or I'm not, and that's not what it's about. It's not about the legalism. It's not about laws. It's not about separation. It's about inclusion. It's about loving God and loving each other. That's what we try to do here with Ben Christian. But just be open to forming different types of friendships. I met a pastor at church, and he's a French-speaking pastor, and they're starting to hold some services at our church. And we definitely have a language barrier, but he and I have been like even texting in the evenings and chatting in person and spending time just to talk, even with the language barriers, but it's becoming more and more intentional. And it's because we've moved beyond just a social connection, but to in person. So I'm getting closer to a person that doesn't hardly speak a lot of English, but I'm getting closer to them than a lot of people I'm surrounded with every day, because he intentionally seeks me out and I intentionally seek him out. So just be open to forming those different types of friendships. Look for people with common interests or casual friendships, those long distance things. It's have varied social connections and needs. We have to appreciate that some friendships may be more casual, while others will become profound and discerning bonds over time. Guys, we won't have time to be best friends with everyone. Let's be real. But do you have a best friend today, or is your best friend still someone that you rarely talk to, and but they were your friend years ago? I just want you to think about that for a little bit, because that seems like that's what's happening more and more. We're losing our best friends and trying to replace the quality with some sort of quantity. Develop adaptability. As life circumstances change, our friendships also need to evolve. To maintain those connections, we have to cultivate flexibility. We have to be open to different types of communication and a willingness to put effort in as friendships transition through different stages. Guys, seek support from other friends, family, or counseling to build resilience in navigating those friendship changes. We talked earlier about secondhand friends. If you're having trouble making friends or making new connections or relationships, get into some of these shared interest groups, or start making connections with some of your secondhand friends. I think you'll be surprised when you start trying to be intentional to connect with them and relate and grow in that friendship, how responsive they'll be, because statistics are showing that we're kind of all in this together. So in essence, forming genuine and new friendships, it requires being intentional. Intentional about in-person interactions. We have to embrace our vulnerability, our shared experiences, but we have to adapt. We have to be resilient. We have to know that circumstances are changing. We already talked about the Bible emphasizes the importance of cultivating genuine, godly friendships that reflects God's love. It promotes spiritual growth and requires wisdom in choosing friends while fostering loyalty and commitment. In today's society, friends play a crucial role in providing the emotional support, our shared experiences, personal growth, and a sense of community. They can even get practical help, and we're seeing statistics are showing even improved health by those that have deep, meaningful relationships. Guys, the rise of social media and the lack of shared real-life context and the busyness of modern life, the shallowness of the digital interactions will hinder the formation of new, meaningful friendships. And to overcome these challenges, we must limit our social media usage. We must embrace our vulnerability, seek out the opportunities, and appreciate the different types of friendships. We can adapt, we can evolve. The definition of a friend has evolved, so we should evolve in how we make and maintain our friendships. We need to be intentional about in-person interactions. Back off the social, back off the surface level things, and find time to pick up the phone. Find time to go meet with someone. Go grab a bite, and we'll talk about that. But we can foster those genuine, enriching friendships in our lives. So going back to the original question, are we bad at making friends now? And the answer is, I don't think it is a simple yes or no answer. I think we are busy being busy. I think we have confused priorities, and we have lives that are just full of distractions. I think we mistake social connections with authentic relationships. And I think we're suffering from our decisions. We have more social connections than ever, but they're all virtual. We actually use technology to avoid face-to-face. We follow, like, subscribe, and connect 10 times than we ever meet or gather or embrace anyone. Recently, my wife and I invited everyone I'm connected with on Facebook. We invited them to join us for dinner in our home. We made it easy. They picked the date, they picked the meal. I will cook whatever they want, whatever date is available to them. And we've called them the Blessed Dinners. Cool concept. I did not come up with it. I will put a link to the book that actually got the idea from. Bless, the E stands for eat, but and that'll be time for another conversation. But anyway, this invitation was for all those family and friends that you get together once in a while, and you always talk about, like we talked about earlier, hey, we need to get together soon, or we're not getting any younger, and man, we need to not meet in bad times. We need to find reasons to get together. So we decided that we were not going to be the ones that were preventing us from making that happen. Not with family, not with old friends, not with new friends. So we opened our home every Wednesday night for the entire year. We used Sign Up Genius to allow dates, and people could put their pick the date they wanted. They fill in their name, how many people were coming, and what type of meal they wanted, and any allergies or whatever. And again, the concept behind it was, I want to be intentional. I don't want just the people in passing, my new acquaintances. I don't want to be the one that is preventing me from getting together with family even. Our families are just as busy as our old friends. And then those old friends that you see and you run into and you say we need to find an excuse. Well, I was wanting to eliminate the excuses from our end. And it was for those people, it was for the friends, it was for even the new ones that you meet and say, oh, well, we should get together sometime. Okay. Guys, I will tell you, I was shocked by the response. People I was certain would be the first ones to sign up, never even signed up. Never even made a comment on the post. Then there's other people that I literally was just acquaintances or didn't know very well or met recently. I never thought they would sign up to come to our personal home to have me cook for them. They were the first ones to sign up. It was so cool. They signed up immediately, and it was like, oh, wow, they're being intentional. And part of it was because we were being intentional. It took a step this big to just say, hey, I want to try something. Now, granted, opening your home for an entire year to the world, my wife thought I was a little crazy and took a little bit of convincing, but it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing to us. And that's, again, why the Blessed Dinner was supposed to be blessing others through eating, but truly it's been a blessing to us. So I just encourage you to try something like that. Maybe you're not going to open your home every week. Maybe you don't want to cook. Maybe there's something, but don't be part of the problem. Find ways to be part of the solution. So again, I'll have a link in the description to the book Bless, and that's where the idea all started. We all have to eat, right? So that was a step, an easy step in the right direction. Invite a coworker to breakfast, or invite a friend to grab lunch, or a family member to dinner, or something like that. There's time that we can be intentional. So let's just do what we're called to do. Guys, this is not about religion. This is about relationship. It's not even, it's nothing beyond that. It's about old relationships, new relationships. As far as what we're called to do, it's about our relationship with Christ if we have one. And if we don't, I encourage you to learn more about what that relationship looks like. You don't have to be religious to be a good person. And let me tell you, if you, just because you say you're religious, that does not mean you're a good person. It has nothing to do with that. This is just about loving each other, treating people well, and prioritizing what matters. Remember, we are not perfect. We're not broken. We are just bent. So guys, let's do life. Let's be bent together. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We really appreciate it. And if you have ideas on other contents and talks you'd like to do or be part of, please put them in the comments below. We'll see you next time. God bless.